Hi, Andy here, 54 and wanting more. This is episode 11 and I'm looking at entrepreneurship. It can be a very rewarding thing to do, but it also has its negatives. So we're going to have a look at that this week. And yeah, I'm still in Turkey. You can hear the cicadas going. I've got a cat down here keeping me company. So let's see what happens this episode. Working as an entrepreneur can be incredibly rewarding, but it can also have its challenges. So what we're going to look at today is some of the positives and negatives of working for yourself. Have you always dreamed of working for yourself? It's not that easy. Okay, so one of the most obvious things about being an entrepreneur is the financial aspect of it. So there is financial instability. It just goes without saying. But also, on the other hand, there's no cap with regards to financial rewards either. So at the beginning, it can be very costly. I've started several businesses in my life. I can remember back in my 20s, I started a fashion chain, or a fashion house, as I was calling it then, called Tenacity. I was working with a couple of fashion designers and I wanted to bring something new to the high street. That didn't work. What did I do after that? Oh yes, so then I became a fitness instructor. Now that was great because I got my own fitness studio. I worked freelance and I worked in Turkey for 10 years. So that aspect of my entrepreneurial days was fantastic, working for myself. But you work also long hours, and if you're really passionate about something, it doesn't really matter about the long hours if you're enjoying it. But yeah, so I did Curves, which was a franchise for a fitness studio for women. And then the other business that I tried to get off the ground but didn't, it was a fantastic idea, but I just couldn't get it off the ground, was called Shop Boutique, or Boutique Shop. And it was my idea of having an online format where all the little independent boutiques across the UK could all just come online together. So, when you wanted to look for something different, you could just find that one quirky thing and you could just go onto a boutique website, a bit like how they have Etsy now, and for handmade things and that type of thing, and not on the high street. But mine was for independent clothing shops. That didn't work. And my latest thing that I did was during COVID, was to get into the property industry, which I am still in a little bit, but I invested a lot of money for training, for education, which it's all still here, so it's all well invested. But that moved on to service accommodation, which I did for 3 years, and in the end I left that particular project as well, because it wasn't bringing me any satisfaction, either financially or any satisfaction for myself, any job satisfaction. It was just not enjoyable waiting for the phone call for the fire alarm to be being set off at midnight, and finding out what state the rooms had been left in when the cleaners went in to try and get the room ready for the next guest. It wasn't fun. Financially, it could have been okay, but I was committed to a very high rent every month, and that was stressful. So I was quite glad to say goodbye to that. So yeah, the financial side to being an entrepreneur has its ups and downs. But there you go. That's one side of it. High responsibility. That is key to being an entrepreneur. You only are responsible for yourself, and anything that happens around you and your business is dependent on you. And this can lead to high stress, burnout if it's not managed properly. So you've got to bear in mind that with regards to high responsibility, there's also a high pressure, and it's all on your shoulders. You can be organized, but you can also procrastinate. You can be uneducated, so that means it takes longer to do things. There's a whole huge bowl of what comes under your responsibilities when you're moving into a business and you're working for yourself. I'm not making it sound good, am I? Isolation. There's just me, I keep doing that. There's just me, myself, and I. And you haven't got that supportive community around you when you are working for yourself and you're trying to get a business off the ground. When I'm in this travel industry now, I'm really happy to say that we do have a fantastic community with regards to being an independent travel agent. So that's definitely one of the pluses. But it's very important that you have somebody that you can communicate with and somebody that you can bounce back off. Otherwise, it is a very lonely business. Only you can feel that stress. Sometimes it's nice to share it a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. I'm going to get onto the positive things soon, honestly. Most of the time, you've all heard this before, there is a risk of failure, and it's normal. Most new businesses will fail within those first few years. There's not very many that hit the 5-year stage, let's say. And if you can pass that 5-year stage, then you're onwards and upwards. But yeah, you invest a lot of money at the beginning and a lot of time, and this also can affect your relationships that you've got around you. So it's a high risk of failure when you're going into business on your own. My camera's shaking, it's not me, it's because there's a breeze out here. Unpredictable hours. Unpredictable hours, let's say flexible hours also. So it works both ways. But unpredictable hours, when I was doing the service accommodation, it literally was phone calls 24/7. So yeah, unpredictable hours. Think about that when you're going into your industry. I have to say, again, with IntelliTravel and being an independent travel agent, it's all to do with communication through your laptop. So it can be emails, WhatsApp, and telephone calls, but there's never really a time where you're going to have emergency phone calls directed at you. You're not going to have to expect phone calls coming through from between midnight and 6 in the morning. Well, I hope not. Now, with a lot of businesses, when you're starting off on your own, you have no HR department, you've got no IT department. Tell me about it. I hate this IT things, I really, really do. And it is a fine line to getting to the point where I want to scream out loud with the IT issues that I'm always coming up with. But you just have to persevere, and you're always learning. So with IT, if something goes wrong, if it goes wrong again, you know what to do. And that's just the way it is. Just the way it is. The biggest thing that is required is self-motivation. Self-motivation is key. You've only got yourself to get you out of bed every day, get you in front of the laptop, do the work, make the telephone calls, speak to the people. It's only going to come from you, self-motivation. And that is why it needs to be something that you're passionate about, that you're going to wake up in the morning and want to go to work, and you're eager to achieve something throughout that day. And the best thing that I feel personally about being an entrepreneur is, even if you get through the day and you haven't achieved much, you've achieved something. Every small step that you take is a step forward. And it's all within your own time and your own energy. Okay, so let's get on to some of the positive points. One of the first things for me is flexibility. I mean, look where I am. I'm in Turkey. I can basically travel all around the world with my laptop, with my telephone. So I have the flexibility to work wherever I am and whenever I want. So time-wise, I've got my own routine. I've told you before, if you've seen one of the previous episodes, I have my own morning routine. I like to start my work day at between 11 and 12 o'clock in the morning and finish around about 6 o'clock at night. It doesn't have to be every day, it certainly isn't every day, but I have my own routine and I've got my own flexibility. If I get a telephone call from a friend that wants to go away for the weekend, I can. If somebody calls me and says, "Do you want to go out for dinner tonight?" I can. If somebody messages me and says, "Are you available tomorrow afternoon? Can you come and see me? Come for a visit for a couple of days?" I can. It's the flexibility which is absolutely the most important thing to me. It is a priority to have flexibility whilst you work. It's all about having a better life-work balance. As an entrepreneur, you control your decisions. There's nobody telling you what to do. There's nobody telling you that you've got to have lunch at this time, a cup of tea at that time. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But I found that one of the weirdest things when I was working at sea. It was so strict with your 15-minute break or your 30-minute lunch. Wow. I loved working at sea, but I don't miss that side of things. So you're in control of all the decisions that you make. If you want to make a risky decision with regards to your business, it's down to you. If you decide that you're going to work 12 hours a day today, fine. If you only want to work 2 hours, it's up to you. That has got to be a positive. You don't have to get approval from anybody for any change of direction, for permission for anything. You can go the direction that you want to go. So, we talked about the financial negatives earlier, but there are financial positives. There is no cap on your earnings. So, you invest in your time that you're putting into the business, and with regards to ratio, it depends what business you're in. It doesn't necessarily mean if you put in a lot of time that you're going to get a lot back. It's all about working smarter and not harder. Pursuing passion and purpose, that is the main thing about being an entrepreneur. If you're passionate about what you're doing, I think everything else will fall in place, because it will never feel like hard work. It will, even if on a bad day, when you think, "Oh my God, this IT is driving me crazy," tomorrow's another day and it'll be another step forward. So if you're passionate and you have a focus and you enjoy what you're talking about and what you're doing, it will fall into place. I truly, truly believe that. When I was a fitness instructor, it never felt like work. I loved it. It was like the fittest I'd ever been in my life. I was killing two birds with one stone, earning money and staying fit at the same time. However, now, as an independent travel agent, I'm traveling and working at the same time, something that I'm even more passionate about. Yes, overcoming challenges and personal resilience is a huge thing, and that is a very satisfying thing, more than any sort of job that you do. You aim to do job satisfaction. So when you're working for yourself and it's something that you're passionate about, you're halfway there. So the other thing about being an entrepreneur is that you can be creative. You can be innovative. You can do things that you want to do that might be a little bit out there. And, you really can go in any direction you want. So you've got no red tape, you've got no forms to fill in, you've got no permission to ask. That is really one of the positives of being an entrepreneur. The main positives for me is personal growth. I mean, this last 12 months, I have learned so much, a completely different side to the industry. And it's not just about educating myself with regards to the back office and different systems. It's learning about all the places that you can travel to. And I feel like I can utilize all of my knowledge from my history of travel in this new job. I mean, it's a great feeling to have, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. I mean, I just can't wait to share all the information that I've got with people and to build that dream holiday for them. You know, sending somebody away on holiday is like one of the greatest feelings ever, because you are responsible for that special time in their lives, and anything I can do to ensure that they can get that fantastic experience, I'm going to do the best that I can. So ultimately, with regards to being an entrepreneur, it's all about, you know, I guess my legacy. I mean, what am I here for? Ultimately, I think I'm probably 2/3 through my life now. I'm 54, wanting more. I'm not stopping. I'm still learning. I'm still growing, and I'm still contributing. And my aim is to contribute to the community, to my friends, to the travel community around me, to support them. And I'm loving it how much support I'm getting from the travel community to ensure that I can provide a great service to all those people out there that are looking to travel. Okay, to summarize, time, you're in charge of it if you're an entrepreneur. Income, you're in control of it as an entrepreneur. Responsibility, it's completely all yours. It's on your shoulders. If you want it bad enough, just keep going. Small steps forward, one direction. Work environment, your choice. More time with the family, more time with your friends, more time for yourself. Growth, personal growth. You can go in any direction you want. You can learn anything. Whatever your passion is, follow it. And finally, security. There may be times of struggle, but there's absolutely no cap on your success. And where are we going? I want to say thank you for watching, and please like, share, follow, subscribe, all those things for me. And the only way is up, baby, for you and me now. Take care. See you next time. The cat's gone.